Remembering 9/11 events, the day that changed the world. On a clear September morning in 2001, the world watched in shock and horror as a series of coordinated terrorist attacks unfolded in the United States. Today we remember the tragic events of September 11, a day that forever changed our world. Join us as we explore the events of that fateful day, the impact it had on our society, and how we continue to honor the memory of those we lost. The events of 9/11. It began as a typical Tuesday morning. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. People initially thought it was a tragic accident, but just 17 minutes later, at 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower, confirming that America was under attack. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, the heart of the United States Department of Defense, causing a massive explosion and fire. The situation grew even more dire. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapsed in a massive cloud of dust and debris. Meanwhile, passengers aboard United Airlines Flight 93 learned of the attacks and bravely attempted to retake control of the plane. At 10:03 a.m., Flight 93 crashed into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, preventing another potential target from being hit. At 10:28 a.m., the North Tower fell, completing the devastating sequence of events that claimed nearly 3,000 lives. Immediate aftermath and response. In the wake of the attacks, first responders, firefighters, police officers, and emergency medical personnel rushed to the scene, risking their lives to save others. Survivors emerged from the rubble, many covered in ash and debris, as the scale of the tragedy began to sink in. The attacks left thousands dead, thousands more injured, and countless lives forever altered. President George W. Bush addressed the nation that evening, vowing to bring those responsible to justice and assuring Americans that the country would stand united in the face of terror. The world responded with an outpouring of support and solidarity. The impact of 9/11 was profound and far-reaching. In the immediate aftermath, the United States launched a war on terror, targeting terrorist organizations and regimes that harbored them. In October 2001, U.S. and coalition forces began Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, aiming to dismantle al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban from power. This marked the beginning of a long and complex military engagement. Domestically, security measures were drastically increased. The Transportation Security Administration (TSA) was created, and airport security protocols were tightened to prevent future attacks. The U.S. government also passed the USA Patriot Act, which expanded surveillance capabilities and enhanced law enforcement's ability to detect and prevent terrorism. This legislation sparked debates over the balance between security and civil liberties. Economically, the attacks had a significant impact. The stock markets closed for several days, and the eventual reopening saw significant losses. The cost of rebuilding and increased security also took a toll on the economy. Socially, the attacks brought about a sense of unity and patriotism in many Americans. However, it also led to increased suspicion and discrimination against Muslim and Middle Eastern communities, highlighting the need for greater understanding and tolerance. Remembering and honoring the victims. Today, we honor the memory of those who lost their lives on September 11. The 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City stands as a tribute to the victims. Each year, ceremonies are held to remember the victims, including moments of silence at the times of the attacks and the reading of the names of those who perished. These events ensure that we never forget the individuals behind the tragedy. Thank you for joining us as we remember the events of 9/11. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that shape our world.